It has been just over a week, and Donald Trump's new administration has already erupted into chaos, and it has not even begun yet. Now, as every day passes, more and more Trump voters are beginning to panic as they feel firsthand the consequences of their votes. It appears these voters had some sort of collective amnesia over these past few years, and now they are shocked to see that every day with Donald Trump is filled with complete and utter pandemonium. I hate to say it, but this is what you voted for. My name is Brett Meiselas with the MeidasTouch Network. Make sure to hit subscribe and help us get to 3.5 million subscribers. Yesterday, we saw Trump announce the nominations of people to his administration, like Matt Gaetz for Attorney General, Tulsi Gabbard for Director of National Intelligence. He nominated Marco Rubio for Secretary of State. He's put Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy in charge of a fake government agency called the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, which is named after a cryptocurrency meme coin. That's right, two people to run a rogue agency supposedly about efficiency. And that's all after Trump nominated a Fox News host, not making this up, Peter Hegseth, to run the Pentagon as the Secretary of Defense. As Democratic media strategist Vince Monroy writes, watching some Republicans react in utter disbelief to the current shit show is truly astounding. This is what you wanted. So, let's take a look at some of those reactions. The conservative subreddit was immediately appalled by the news that Trump had nominated Matt Gaetz for Attorney General. Here are some of the comments. Quote, "What? Sorry, but this is bad, like embarrassingly bad." Somebody else said, quote, "Yeah, this is literally the worst pick I could have possibly thought of." Another person said, quote, "His worst pick yet, in my opinion. Not a fan of Matt. He is a lapdog and a hardliner. I agree that this is a bad tap. If the goal is just to piss off the liberals, it's a win. If the goal is to have a great AG that everyone can trust, then it is a total failure." Yes, governing by owning the libs is not what a president does. And there's more. Another Trumper on Reddit wrote, quote, "Madness and stupidity." One said, quote, "Yeah, this one seems pretty off, man. I don't get this one. So many other better choices." One user who describes themselves as a millennial conservative wrote, quote, "This should receive as much criticism as the Thune pick for different reasons. This is his worst pick so far." And another Trump voter wrote, "I guess Trump got tired of winning." One user in the Ask Conservatives subreddit wrote, "Matt Gaetz as AG, what are your thoughts? I am honestly disappointed with Matt Gaetz being chosen as Attorney General. As a minority voter who supported the candidate in good faith, believing in a commitment to meritocracy, this choice feels unexpected and unsettling. He does not seem qualified for the role. Many MAGA supporters may not fully understand the backlash we have faced, our lives disrupted, families strained, friendships lost because of our support. This has been the most disappointing decision so far. Fool me once, etc." How do you not understand that this is who Donald Trump is? You think he believes in meritocracy? It's all about loyalty. That's what Donald Trump is all about, loyalty and corruption. Meghan McCain, the late John McCain's daughter, wrote in response to the Matt Gaetz news, "This is such an effing joke." And let me put this all in perspective for you. I'll sum it up like this. We've now learned, thanks to reporting from Punchbowl News, that Matt Gaetz resigned from Congress yesterday to accept Trump's nomination as AG, just 2 days before the House Ethics Committee was set to vote on releasing a, quote, "highly damaging report outlining its investigation into him." So, Donald Trump used his supposed mandate after winning not to lower grocery prices or to help the middle class, but to help Matt Gaetz avoid consequences for his alleged sex trafficking crimes by giving him a position running the Department of Justice that investigates those crimes. That is the epitome of corruption. You know what else is the epitome of corruption? Giving a billionaire, Elon Musk, control of a rogue agency designed to fire federal employees and end government programs. And now it appears even some Trump voters are sounding the alarm about this move. First, let me show you a clip of Musk last night at Mar-a-Lago raising his hand to identify himself as, quote, "the George Soros of the right." I thought Soros was supposed to be a bad guy. Watch this.
And many of us have long said, where is the George Soros of the right? Where do we find the and in walks Elon Musk. So God bless you, Elon, and we're so, so grateful. Ladies and gentlemen, on to the show.
And here's what Trump voters on the conservative subreddit are saying about Musk's new involvement in the Trump administration. One user writes, quote, "As much as I support Trump, I don't think appointing a billionaire to deal with what average people need with money is the best idea. Though I may be wrong, I am still unsure about this." You voted for Donald Trump. You voted for a billionaire to try to help you. What am I missing here? Another says, quote, "There are some obvious conflicts of interest as well. He owns a car company. Will he suggest that cuts be made to things like Amtrak or other transit programs that may eat into his customer base?" One Trump voter notes, "Legit, this guy has a vested interest in making gas much more expensive." Another said, "Oh man, who would have guessed Trump would have picked a sleazy businessman to run the government? I'm so dang surprised. Did not see this coming at all. Who'da thunk? Anyway, I'm sure we'll all get better." That person obviously being sarcastic. And another Trump voter wrote, quote, "It smells of letting the fox in the henhouse." Y'all are so close to figuring this out. So close, yet so far. And it keeps going. Here are Trump voters' comments about Fox host Peter Hegseth being nominated for Secretary of Defense. Somebody wrote, quote, "No way this is true. I absolutely refuse to believe this. On what grounds is this guy the Secretary of Defense? Absolutely inexcusable. Inexcusable picks for DHS and Secretary of Defense. I need to hear him justify these picks and why he picked those two people." Another person wrote, "WTF, seriously? A Fox Morning TV show host for the head of the Department of Defense? You're telling me he couldn't find a more qualified person who would be just as loyal? We sure this isn't from the satire site Babylon Bee?" Another Trump voter wrote, "This sounds so fishy. Getting someone out of a news organization? Seriously?" Yeah, seriously. That's what you voted for. What are you missing here? That's exactly what you voted for. This Trump voter says about the appointment of Marco Rubio for Secretary of State, quote, "Guys, Trump sold y'all out. Marco Rubio is the Cuban Lindsey Graham, a warmonger and neocon through and through." And then he says receipts below, and he does an entire thread about Marco Rubio. These Trump voters are worried about the cuts that are likely coming to services that they rely upon. One Trump voter writes, quote, "I'm a conservative, but also a significantly disabled veteran. Some of the proposals I've seen would definitely have a negative impact on my care. We'll see." Another says, quote, "I don't like the cuts to regulations. I'm a railroader, and the sound of them cutting our rules that keep us safe and our workforce that keep people working makes me nervous." Somebody responded to him saying, "So you decided to vote for someone who is pro-deregulation? Make it make sense." And while all of this chaos is going on, the corporate media always finds a way to prove that they wanted this, that they wanted Trump to win. NBC News' Chuck Todd wrote, quote, "These confirmation hearings may just save cable TV for the short term," end quote. Listen, corporate media, this is not about your ratings. People's lives are on the line. And you realize Trump is trying to bypass the confirmation process altogether. So I'm sorry your ratings are way down, but stop selling out the American people to try to get them back up. I'm sick of this. Sick of it. Going back, it is just crazy to me that it is going to take chaos and pain in order for a fraction of these Trump voters to realize that Trump never cared about them in the first place. Here is a black Trump voter responding to an ABC story about Trump's cabinet picks, who have all been white, by the way. He replied, quote, "Bro, we voted for you. Hire some of us," facepalm emoji. This uncommitted Michigan delegate on CNN is now begging President Biden to do something about Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu before Trump and Mike Huckabee complete a, quote, "ethnic cleansing campaign of the West Bank and southern Lebanon." Watch this.
It looks like ethnic cleansing. It sounds like ethnic cleansing. It's an ethnic cleansing campaign in Gaza and the West Bank and southern Lebanon. And Mike Huckabee was just named as the guy who's going to oversee the final stages of that campaign. And so our message right now is to President Biden, you've got to do something about this. President Biden, stand up for once to Netanyahu before Donald Trump successfully gets away with pinning this legacy of this ethnic cleansing campaign on you and you alone forevermore.
Listen, I see that he is still pinning this on President Biden. Let me say this. Elections are a binary choice. In this election, we had a candidate who was calling for a ceasefire and a two-state solution and to bring the hostages home, but was dealing with the complexities of those issues. And on the other hand, we had a candidate who wanted to let Israel, quote, finish the job and turn Gaza into beachfront property. You protested the first candidate. I hate to say it, but this is going to be in Trump's hands now. That's how elections work. I hate that, but that's true. That's how this works. Here's another story from CBS News. The headline reads, quote, South Florida immigrants fear mass deportations amid Trump's return to office. As a reminder, a majority of Florida Latinos voted for Trump, and now they are terrified that they or their family members are going to be deported. Here's what the article says, quote, immigrants across South Florida are expressing growing anxiety over possible mass deportations, a campaign promise by President-elect Donald Trump. Quote, I've been living with anxiety. I'm scared and stressed about what's going to happen to me, a Nicaraguan woman who is so frightened that she only identifies herself as Maria, told CBS News Miami. She represents the voice of many people who came to the U.S., applied for political asylum, and received a work permit. But now she says future government officials are demonizing immigrants without understanding why they are in the U.S. This whole thing is so incredibly tragic to me. It really is. And all of this was avoidable. All of this was avoidable. But there are going to be people who think this won't happen to them until it does, and that's the truth. Listen, I'm not sharing any of this to gloat or to put blame on any particular group or to kick anybody when they're down, but I think it's important that we highlight the consequences of these decisions. These elections are not a game. These people are going to be in control of our lives, of your life. So next time, if we're lucky enough to have a next time, when people tell you who they are, when people show you who they are, please believe them. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any stories like these, please go ahead and share them in the comments. I gotta say, I am so grateful for all your support. Remember to add the MeidasTouch podcast on audio. Go and check out MeidasPlus.com, by the way, for exclusive stories and ad-free content, and get the premium MeidasTouch experience over there. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 3.5 million subscribers. Thanks again. I'll see you soon.
Hey Meidas Mighty, love this report? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram @MeidasTouch to keep up with the most important news of the day. What are you waiting for? Follow us now.